Okay, so when it comes to comedy, Roy Wood Jr. is really, truly one of the best to do it. And it's his job to have an opinion on just about anything. You know, things like relationships, family, music, movies, and Confederate flags.
I'm just saying, the flag had a couple upsides. Let's just be real about it. I ain't saying keep it around, but I grew up in the South. I can't tell you how many times the Confederate flag came in handy. You stopping for gas at a strange place at 2 in the morning, you see that flag hanging from the window, you know this is not the place to get gas.
Please welcome stand-up comedian, Daily Show correspondent, actor, podcast host, Mr. Roy Wood Jr.
Hey, how funny would it be if you came to this shot of me and it was just a Confederate flag on the wall in the background right now?
I would just roll off my chair and I'm like, I am not here. But let me just say, like, I told you earlier how much, I tell people I stalk them, but yours is like on a whole other level because I love comedy. I love to laugh. I don't like any other thing but comedy. And I feel like I'm part of your family, like your Uncle Derek, I want to hang out with. Henry, I feel like I've watched him kind of like grow. How old is Henry now?
You know about my Uncle Derek? Oh, yeah, you're deep into social media. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I stalk you. I know about Uncle Derek. I know the jokes about Uncle Derek and what he feels about the Titanics and everything. But, like, it's great how you incorporate, like, your family and stuff. I'm serious. So what about Henry? Because I knew when you had Henry, and then, what is he, like 4, 5 now?
Yeah, Henry's 4. I can't say his name too loud because he will come in here, you will summon him. like Candyman, only he likes actual candy. He's not here with bees and a hook hand. Yeah, he's 4. We've kind of gone back and forth between homeschooling and, you know, his preschool has had a pretty good situation set up in terms of, you know, keeping it COVID safe for the kids the last month or so. But it's been interesting being at home with a child around the clock and just seeing them grow and learn and absorb things. And then you go, oh, wow, you're reading now. So I can't even, like I used to, so one of the shows I love is Snowfall on FX. Snowfall is not a show you watch around a 4-year-old. So I call myself getting slick one day because like he's in his tablet. So his head's down, I go, what if I just sneak and put on the closed captions? He won't, and I'll fast forward through the violence. He won't even know what this show is about. Man, they was having some scene at a brunch at a country club, and one of them almost cuss words came up, but you know, I closed caption and put the asterisk, so he can't see what the word. He was trying though. He said, I said, you know what, man, let me go and turn back to Paw Patrol. I gotta watch Snowfall at 2 in the morning.
You can always watch Snowfall later. So tell Henry we said hi. So you always have so much going on. I should be ashamed of myself because you always have like something different all the time. So we know that the Daily Show you guys had to adjust during the pandemic because they called it the Daily Social Distancing Show with Trevor Noah. And then now, when I heard Roy Wood Jr. has a job fair, I brought my resume, but I don't think my resume is required. Is it? No? I don't need a resume for Roy's job fair?
The podcast is for people who are looking for a job, but more importantly, if you have a job, just call in and tell crazy stories of jobs you used to work. We're just commiserating over a water cooler. And that's literally what it is. You know, there's career tips. I want to talk about retirement. I think retirement is an important part of employment because that's ultimately why you're working. And so you don't have to work no more. So it's just that. It's just a place to come and laugh. We've had people call in and tell us crazy stuff. There was a dude working at a seafood restaurant. I won't name which one. He had 2 coworkers that was in a relationship. They was always in the deep freezer making out while they trying to work. So sometimes if you out eating at a restaurant and your food is late to the table, it's because somebody back there kissing instead of cooking the hush puppies like they supposed to be.
All right, so I'm guessing we're going to hear about some of the jobs you've had. I know you used to work at the Golden Corral. So what are other jobs that you've had before we got to know you?
Oh, so my first job with a pay stub was Baskin Robbins at Western Hills Mall in Fairfield, Alabama, outside of Birmingham. I would say, you know, we have a segment on the show we call First or Worst. And I would say, when we talk about our first job or our worst job, for me, the worst job I ever had, worked this job 2 days, a concrete packing facility in Columbia, South Carolina, and it was quickcrete, the instant concrete. It powders up while you're putting it on the pallets off of the conveyor belt. By the end of the day, the powder's in your hair and it mixed with the sweat, and you have little concrete naps when you go home. And see, and like all the OGs that was working there, everybody had on a do-rag. They had on like bandanas. I said, you stupid. We out here in the heat. Why are you covering up your head? That's why the heat, you're trapping the heat. But then at the end of the day, I had to get a haircut. That's half my check.
All right, okay.
Half my check to get concrete naps out my head. I said...
I'm sorry. All right, so, okay, let's talk about you being a part of Comedy Central's new docuseries, Dark Humor. And it takes a look at Black comedians and who are some of the other comedians involved. Because it's not just about laughing, it's about talking about topics that the Black community has to face.
Tiffany Haddish, Lil Rel, D.L. Hughley, some more, all of these great comics from back in the day, talking about how Black comedy takes pain and makes it something profound and funny that connects not just with Black people, but with people who didn't know those things about the Black experience.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to watch it. I cannot wait to see the roast special that's coming up on Comedy Central. I love all things Comedy Central. Tell them I said hi. They don't know me, but I will stalk them just like I stalk you. I don't care if there are any restraining orders. I can handle it. Not my first one.
We in New York. Pull up. We in New York. I'll catch you on the Twitters.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, can I come to your office? But that's later. Roy Wood Jr., such a pleasure to meet you. Be sure to check out his podcast, Roy's Job Fair, and the Comedy Central docuseries, Dark Humor. Thank you, sir. Such a pleasure. See you soon. I hope.
Thank you.
Or not. If you call the cops, I won't. But what can I say?
No, we're COVID safe. Come through.
Yay! You said it. I didn't say it. He did, just so you guys know. Yes, thank you, sir.
God. Oh, no.
All right, Dan.